Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Welcome back to the computer class for class 9 Classic School System. As you know that we have already started our first chapter Introduction to Systems, and today is the second lecture in accordance to that chapter. And in this lecture, we are going to talk about or we are going to learn about types of the systems. Systems can be broadly categorized into two types, namely natural systems and artificial systems. As we have already studied in the previous lecture, that systems can be categorized majorly in two categories, natural systems and artificial systems. Understanding the differences and similarities between these two types help us apply system theory across various fields. Whenever we'll understand the differences and similarities in natural system and artificial system, then we'll be able to use the system theory up across different fields. Then we'll be able to use them in a more benefiting manner. So natural systems are those systems which occur naturally and occur in nature without human intervention. So natural systems do not require human involvement, they do not require human intervention, they occur in nature. While the artificial systems are created by humans to fulfill specific needs or purposes. And this is something that we have learned in the previous lecture that artificial systems are the systems which are man-made systems. Here you can see there are two pictures. The first one is a picture of a galaxy, which is a natural system, and the other one is the picture of an instrument, a measuring instrument, which is named as screw gauge. It is an artificial system. Now let's talk about natural systems. Natural systems are those systems that exist in nature and operate independently of human involvement. They are governed by natural laws and processes. Natural systems are of various forms and sizes, and from very tiny objects like atoms and cells in our body to very huge like forests, oceans, and cosmos. Following are the examples of the natural systems that exist in nature. Okay, as we have already talked about natural systems, that natural systems do not require human intervention. They exist without human involvement, and whenever we look at the things around us, we find uh, tiny objects such as atoms, electrons, and neutrons, and protons. And if we look at the huge objects, magnanimous objects, if we look at the planets, stars, they all exist without the human intervention. So they are natural systems. They are natural systems. They are existing without human intervention, human involvement. Now let's see what are the physical systems. Physical systems are composed of physical components and governed by the laws of physics. So this is something that we need to understand that physical systems are composed of physical components. So here we'll talk about the physical components and the laws of the physics according to which those physical components are working. So they include things like ranging from subatomic particles, atoms to planets, star, galaxies, and cosmos. Here again, we'll talk about the size of the system and their components, how they work together, and how they perform their function. Okay. Physical systems, like any kind of the matter, emerge from the interaction of proton, electron, neutron, and subatomic particles, which are governed by electric and atomic forces. As we have already learned in our sciences that every object, every matter consists of electron, proton, and neutron, and other subatomic particles. Similarly, when we look at the system, physical systems, so we uh, try to understand that how are these subatomic particles or how are the major components working together to form that system. For example, hydrogen gas is formed when an electron, proton, and neutron combine, following are the rules of the physics and natural forces. Here they have given you an example of hydrogen gas that when one electron, one proton, and one neutron, they all combine together, they make a hydrogen gas atom. Okay. Now let's talk about the chemical systems. Chemical systems involve substances and their interactions, transformations, and reactions. So now in this section, we are going to talk about the substances and their interactions. How do they form? What is their composition? How do they transform and how do they react with one another? They are governed by the laws of chemistry. Chemical systems emerge from physical systems when atoms and molecules interact and bond according to chemical principle, forming new substances. For example, a chemical system like water, H2O, is formed when hydrogen atoms bond with oxygen atoms following the chemical rules and reactions. Here they have talked about how do the physical systems emerge when the atoms, molecules interact with each other, when they react with each other, when they bond, such as uh, two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom, they bond together and they form a new chemical system such as water, to which we call water, H2O. So this happened because of the chemical rules. Now let's see the biological systems. Biological systems consist of the living organisms and their interactions. They are governed by the biological process such as growth, reproduction, and metabolism. Biological systems emerge from the chemical systems when molecules interact in complex ways. Okay, now we are going to talk about the biological systems that, okay, now we are going to talk about the biological system. Biological system consists of living organisms and how they interact with each other. Okay, so biological processes that are going to be discussed in biological systems, such as growth, reproduction, and their metabolism. So biological systems emerge from the chemical systems because in all of the living organisms, some chemical processes are keep on happening. So biological systems emerge from the chemical systems, and biological systems and the chemical interactions or reactions happen in a very complex way to form living cells. Okay, which then organize into tissues, organs, and organisms. So when these chemical reactions happen, so biological cells form, and those cells get together and organize into tissues, and then those tissues get organized into organs, and those organs get organized into organisms. Okay, now we are going to talk about the psychological systems. Psychological system involve mind and behavior. They include thoughts, emotions, and mental processes governed by the principle of psychology. Now we are going to talk about, first we talked about physical systems, then we talked about chemical systems, then we talked about biological systems. Now, in those living organisms, we are going to talk about the psychology, the psychological systems, their behavior, their mind, how does their mind work, and how do their behaviors change. So how their emotions work, how their mental processes keep on working, and these all are governed by the principles of psychology. Psychological systems emerge from the biological systems when the brain's physical and chemical processes give rise to thoughts, emotions, and behavior which are influenced by individuals' experience and environment. Very well. So, what have we learned? We have learned that the biological system, psychological system come from the biological system. When the physical and chemical processes of the body or the mind or the brain give rise to different thoughts and emotions and behaviors and which are influenced by the individual's experience. Yani, how does a person has experienced one happenstance and how does he experience or feel about his environment. So these are all emotions and feelings are part of the psychological system. Now we are going to talk about the artificial systems. Artificial systems are created and developed by the people so they may fulfill certain functions and address certain issues. These systems can be small as a wheel or large as United Nations. Each system is designed very deliberately to perform tasks, improve efficiency of the process, and provide solution to various issues in different sectors. Artificial systems are a vital part of contemporary society because they reinforce productivity, solve complex problems, and improve people's well-being. These are the systems such as knowledge management systems, engineering achievement systems, and indeed social systems, which are the framework of the success of human civilization. There are different types of artificial system, some of which are described below. Okay, here they are discussing about the artificial system that we have already, some of it we have already learned in the previous lecture. Artificial systems are those systems which do not require human involvement or intervention. So these systems are totally those systems which are made by the humans. So these systems are made by the humans and these systems do not occur in nature. So these systems can be very small, such as a wheel, or these systems can be large, such as a magnanimous body as a United Nations, where different countries are combined to make a United Nations, a magnanimous organization. And each system designed very particularly thinking about the specific of the task to improve the efficiency of the process so that the different sectors may prosper. Okay, so artificial systems are the vital part of the society. They are the major part of the society to improve the productivity and to solve the difficult problems and to improve the uh, betterment of the human beings. And are uh, these systems have a knowledge management system as an example, engineering systems, and the social system. It is also an artificial system. There are different types of artificial systems that we have just seen. This is it for today's lecture. I hope you get to know about the different types of data, the types of systems, and how the systems work. Inshallah, I'll see you in the next lecture. If you have any question, please leave your questions in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer them. See you in the next lecture. Till then, Allah Hafiz.